And I probably should zoom in on this too. All right. So this is standard letter form, right? You got your name, address, your date. You've got the company name, the attention name of interviewer, manager, the title or position. Now you can omit this in the case that you do not know it. How do you get the in when you're looking for a job? Okay. A lot of people, what they will do in their lives, other than fail miserably, is they will just kind of send their resume in and not really care. They'll be like, yeah, I'll find a job someday. And it's like, you can't be like that. The best thing to do is call up the company that you're thinking about working at like 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. That's before lunch, so no one's lazy. Don't do it on a Friday. Call them up from 10 o'clock to about 11 o'clock. That's when their brains are most active, okay? And when they're most likely to talk to you. You don't want to call them up at 9 because they might not even be there yet, especially mentally, okay? And what you do is you call like, hey, you know, I heard about this position that you had at your firm, even if they put it online. I heard about this position on your firm. I'd like to talk to someone about it, please, okay? And then they'll say, oh, okay, and they'll just shuffle you off to some HR representative. Once you have that person's name, you put it right here. And this gives you the in, okay? So if you don't remember anything from my class, this is probably the only thing that's really going to affect you heavily if you try it. It will work, okay? Put the person's name there because when it shows up on the email, it's going to be sent to that person, and then that person's going to what? Remember who you are. And that's going to put you on the top of the stack a lot faster than a good resume and cover letter, okay? The fact that they at least know your name because you called in, that's going to affect you a lot stronger than anything else. Okay, so that's kind of tips of the trade. Like I was in a horrible high school in Jackson, Mississippi, and I literally called up the principal of another school. I was like, hey, are you looking for an English teacher? And he was like, yeah, we might have an opening. And I was like, well, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a call back in a week when you're prepared to make that decision. I'll send you a resume and my cover letter, and we'll see what you think about it, okay? And so a week later, guess what happened? Called him back again, and within about a month, I had a job. And I boosted my butt out of that really bad high school very quickly, okay? So you're going to say their name here. Now notice that we use a colon, not a comma, with a business letter, okay? When you say, Dear Mr. Kyle, you're going to put a colon there. Commas are for letters to grandma. Colons are for letters to someone in a business, okay? Then you've got your 3 paragraphs right here. Number 1, you talk about yourself, what skills you have, okay? What you're good at. Number 2, how do those skills relate to the position you're looking for? Number 3, hey, I'm going to call you back later and follow up. Here's my contact information. Number 4, sincerely. I like to use cordially, because I think sincerely, we're not really sincere. So I just say cordially, or like with a good attitude. Your name with a signature, if you send it in by mail, no one's going to do that. But just type your name in here with your telephone number and area code. And I'm going to show you also, this is very good. So Brandon, pay attention to this because you're going to love this one. How to hack a job finding service. Okay. Oh wait, I didn't put them in there, did I? Dang it. The resume, there's a video yesterday that you could have done. So let's go to monster.com. I'll explain it in a second. Let me go ahead and raid John Word. So let's give me a job that I'm looking for. Pediatrician. That's a bit too professional. Construction work. So let's say concrete layer. Okay? And we're going to do it here. We're going to do 28,173, and I want to show these folks what I'm doing here as well. So you guys, it should be on my thing. We'll deal with it in a sec, Landon. Let me just go over how to hack how to hack a job site. All right, so this guy, let's see, we've got a residential sales estimator, outside sales of unit paving, so you're going to sell paving. Now let's do, what's a slitter operator? That's what I want to know. Let's do a slitter operator, okay? For your cover letter, that second paragraph is very important. Why? Because every one of these job finding sites will search through your cover letter and use an algorithm to acquaint you to like how close that job searcher is. Wait, let me restate that. So the algorithm will go through your cover letter and look for terms that will associate you to that job. Okay, then that employer is going to get like how much percent this person matches your job. Well, guess what? Here in the job description, you've got a lot of duties and responsibilities. What if you were to take these and maybe some of the requirements and put them in that second paragraph? What do you think is going to happen? The algorithm's going to set off a lot of bells and whistles, and that you're going to get a much stronger response than if you just kind of submitted a cover letter. So the important thing here is these terms right here, where it talks about all the things you're going to do, and then all the requirements. If you go and throw those into a couple of sentences, like mention that you can operate hydraulic, electric lift pallet jacks, and that you can use cleaner provided to clean slitter knives upon sharpening cycle using proper PPE, right? If you just put those phrases into a sentence there, it's going to automatically set off the algorithm, and your resume will probably be put close to the top. Does that make sense to you? Because there's an algorithm that's going to look through your resume and cover letter for these terms. Okay? Regardless if you're like a kindergarten teacher or I don't know, like a high-paced like salesman or whatever, those qualification terms, they're going to be in there. And so why not just steal them and put them in your resume and cover letter, and then you'll set off that. I'm not saying lie about your qualifications, but if you put those qualifications, if you have them, and match them with what the employer is looking for, your resume is going to be a lot higher in sites like these. Another really good site that you could use is Indeed. You guys ever heard of Indeed? Indeed is a good one, as well as Glassdoor. I guess I'm not the only making a new job. Okay. Indeed's another good one. And Indeed comes with company reviews, so you can actually see, like what's the Lancaster County Public Schools. Yeah. So let's see what their reviews say. Oh, 3 out of 4, or out of 5. That's not good. But they'll actually have reviews about it. Right? And you can check and see if the job is decent about it. See, this person's upset because they have a PhD. Okay. And so you can actually see what type of place the workplace is. Let's see. I'm really interested. I'm just going to do this for myself. I want to see what Bojangles ranks. Bojangles. Oh, you just had it. Gosh. I know Burger King took the cow. It's the worst place ever. Okay, so Bojangles. Oh, look at that. They got 4,000 reviews. Looks like people are pretty happy with it, too. I want to see enough, like a 1. What happened? Oh, here's a 2. It's okay for my age.
Yeah, let's do like Chick-fil-A.
Oh, terrible. There we go. Terrible management. Cashiers are always calling out or no showing, and the manager does nothing about it. You're always understaffed. Salary members always work way too many hours. I've got the COVID. All right. So Indeed is a really good one because you can actually check the company. And then another one's Glassdoor. And that one also, I think, has a review section. So those are 2 really good ones. Monster, I think Monster and like Career Builder don't have where you can look up and see what people said about the job. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. So here, this is on the cover letter thing. So you got 3 paragraphs. Number 1, why are you writing? Who are you? Number 2, what skills do you have? And how, give like 1 or 2 that you say match the job. Number 3, this is what I'm going to follow up. And so just follow this prompt on with a doc. Fill it in. And I would recommend Gabby Dillon, Brandon. Find a company. And as an example, just let's look up a company. I've got Glassdoor with 2 R's. So let's say, pardon? Yeah, I mean, you can look up for anything. Let's see. Look up Panera. Let me just go ahead and go here. So I'm going to look up a translation job. Japanese translator. There we go. Of course, there's nothing within. Oh, Honda plant. So assume I was going to do this one. So for the cover letter here, where is this? It don't even say where it is. Oh, look at that, possible locations. Timmonsville, South Carolina. Where's that? Out in the middle of nowhere. Look at Hardy's there. Okay, I'm done with that. So anyway, if I were to look this up, I'd probably find. So here's my responsibilities and duties. So this is some of the stuff that I probably would put in. The candidate must have a bachelor's degree or higher in interpretation, translation, language, or related field with at least 2 years experience. So if I were to take this would go into my second paragraph. So for example, for me, number 1, I have a JLPTN1 pass, which means it's the highest level of Japanese ability as tested by the Japanese government. Number 2, I've been translating for 15 years now, so I definitely have that. Number 3, I've got a master's in English. So I also have more than a bachelor's degree in language. So I perfectly fit this, right? And so that's what you're going to look for right here. That $60,000 per year looks pretty tempting too. Okay. No, I love teaching too much, sadly. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's near Florence. Oh, so that's not so bad. Because right up here is Lancaster. Okay. So the video for the resume, it is on is that the one that's unlisted? I think it is. If you go down the stream, the